Welcome to a moment of intriguing introspection beyond the realms of fear, hesitancy, and doubt. A deep dive into the questions of the ages shared with the courage that may challenge perception, yet teases open the expansive depth of conscious awareness. This is a rare and unique moment in our collective history. And beyond all sense of dogma, I am Master Lady Kira Raa, promising to call forward the essence of all that you are. Join me as I offer the latest self-ascension revelations with supportive wisdom. And why not remember that peace, love, and joy are your birthright? So this is the moment to bring your hand to your heart and to give yourself the gift of relaxing into a deep breath with a wondrous exhale. I look forward to joining you right now in another episode of Expanding Consciousness. Welcome everyone to Expanding Consciousness. I am Master Lady Kira Raa, and it is a gift to be here with you. I want to first welcome you to this extraordinary moment in our collective history, because with every breath, we are one beautiful moment further than we have ever gone before. And to acknowledge that is to find a depth of preciousness with the life experience that we are all calling forward into this moment. You know, if this is your first time joining us here at Expanding Consciousness, welcome. I'm really glad you found us. And if you're out there on terrestrial radio listening to us in your vehicle, I am glad to be part of your journey, glad to be on that drive with you, hoping to keep you amused and perhaps a little intrigued. And for those of you that are catching me at amfm247.com, thank you for being here. Make sure you leave some comments. And for those of you over at YouTube, you're a family, as we all are together here right now. I want to invite you to first relax into a sense of receptivity, to let the mind go just a little bit more, and to invite yourself to say yes to actually expanding beyond the paradigm. Because tonight in this episode, it's such an extraordinary moment to really put in one for the record. This is the encyclopedia of consciousness. That's why this podcast exists, to make this encyclopedia, to leave this, whether you're catching it in 2024 when it was created, or whether you're catching it in whatever realm you're in. You're getting here right now because consciousness itself is colliding with, and I'm going to put this in air quotes, reality. Consciousness itself is colliding with reality. So really take a moment. Let's just kind of bring our hands to our heart. And what do you notice, even as I call that forward, even as you hear that? Remember, what consciousness itself is colliding with reality. How is it even possible? What does that even mean? So go back in a moment, relax. And as you relax, I want to invite a couple of questions, some self-inquiries. So perhaps we first bring our hands to our heart. And let's take in a deep 𝐬𝐵𝐸 breath. And remember that an 𝐬𝐵𝐸 breath is a conscious inhale through the nose of the energy of 𝐸, and an exhale of the energy of 𝐸, the infinite presence, the welcoming and the relaxing, the inhale and the exhale, the expansion into that moment between the moment. So let's do 3 of those, shall we? And if you're driving, it's okay. Just keep your eyes right on that road there and just be breathing up through your nose, hands on the wheel. You don't need to put them on your heart. So breathing up through our nose, out through the mouth, song, and a smile. When we complete our conscious breath with a smile, we send a signal to this physical body of form that's saying, hey, don't worry, I am here. I am here. And that is a powerful, powerful gift. Let's do 2 more of those breaths. Breathing in 𝐸, 𝐸, smiling. Breathing in 𝐸, 𝐸, and relaxing, smiling. I want to invite you to consider what happens. I mean, what really happens when you become aware of what you were not even aware of? To be aware of your own awareness. to be in that moment of recognition, of the depth of the self-inquiry of what in me invited this to be, in the energy of the smile. With every breath, you are expanding. With every moment, your level of consciousness is your veil. So with every veil you lift, your consciousness is lifting with it. With every single aspect of the life that has brought you into this experience of this now, right now, all of it has been the kaleidoscope. It's all the same pieces. They're always there. It's just how you're looking at them and how you're shuffling them, and the ones you don't want to look at and the ones you do. It's stepping back into that wide angle view. And the way I like to describe it is it's come up here to Tosa Blue Mountain with me, right? Come sit up here in the Andes Mountains and let's look right over across the valley at our beautiful Huachapala, beautiful village across the valley here, beautiful indigenous village. And so in that village are many beautiful mosaics, many beautiful murals. And when you see them from afar and you see the totality, you see the beauty. And you see the flow and the rhythm and the art and the artistry and all of the things that delight all of the senses. But if you bring yourself right up close, put your nose right up against that mural, all you might be seeing is the teeniest little piece. And oftentimes it's that darkest piece that you don't even understand why it's there until you're able to really step back into your conscious awareness to become aware of what you were not even aware of. It is that essence of the layering, the multidimensional conscious awareness. So imagine what happens when you become aware of what you were not even aware of, because that's that moment. That's the moment where that in-breath, that ave, that in-breath, that hail. And remember, ave is very much a heartbeat, right? Instead of glub, 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 think ave, ave. Invite the transcendent nature of your heart to be infused, totally infused into this body of form, to be consciously aware of that ave, that moment where the in-breath of your divine nature, the ave, exhales into this body of form. Breathing in that ave and exhaling the sa is that receptivity of your eternal nature. And it's as simple as a moment of consciousness. And it's a moment that will bring you beyond the fields of the limitations of perception. We live in an experience where perception is reality. That is this field of potentiality. And in all the fields of potentiality, which in and of themselves carry their own limitless nature, you are here right now at a collision moment. It's a moment where we have collectively in this field of formed awareness and the way that we call forward ourselves to express in form, we are free. We are free to remember the self into form. And I'm going to say ... again, because you've done this before. It's always been the conscious awareness that has lagged the completion. You are at a moment right now where you are actually free to remember yourself back into this form again. That is what the yoga of self-ascension is. It's a conscious collision with reality as perception brings it in. We come in through the sacred sequence of incarnation. And if you don't know what that means, this is expanding consciousness, your consciousness library. Go back into the archives, whether you're at AM/FM 247, whether you're at YouTube, wherever you're finding the show, whatever station you're on right now, go in and look at the Sacred Sequence show. Understand that, because when you really can give yourself the gift of relaxing into your conscious awareness in the recognition of the sacred sequence of incarnation, everything makes sense. And you give yourself that permission to remember. To really remember yourself into this body of form at an experience of conscious awareness. And here's the kicker, right? This is the collision that we have not ever done before. You are here at that moment. And that is the gift that you are giving yourself simply by even being and connecting with today's episode, with this broadcast, with this podcast. What happens when you become aware of what you were not aware of? You ignite the lift. I want you to really feel that, because in the awareness of that which you were not even aware of before, the transcendent smile, the transcendent nature of all that you are illuminates. It's that smile that comes forward in the essence of the knowing without having to say anything, to simply live in the being of the knowing as the essence of awareness itself. Really breathe that in for a minute. And I'm feeling third chakra. So I'm going to ask all of you to bring your hands, third chakra, that's the belly, so to speak, higher up, more like around the ribs, lower ribs. Just really relax into that area there, because that area is very much, especially in this field of potentiality, and especially as we're in this collision moment with reality through our perceptive filters, your third chakra is saying to you, okay, power or joy? Power or joy? Consider that. What does that really mean? Well, when we think about our center of balance, right? We look at our third chakra and, you think about all of the martial arts and the center area and Pilates and all the things that this part of our body does. What this body area is really about is the joy of the knowing of your divine mastery presence, informed awareness, consciously aware of all, and still being in multidimensional experience, completely tracking all of it. And I want you to relax if that felt a little hard to hear or challenging to hear. Remember, you can always hit stop, go back, listen again. And I encourage you to do that. I really do. You're free. You are free to remember yourself at any given time. And when you are free to remember yourself into form again, it means that you have broken through the paradigms that seek to keep you stuck. Largely a planetary thought body that is continually force-fed the energy of fear. That's what we came here to experience. That's, nothing to run away from. It's exactly why we're here. In every potentiality, we are playing out every scenario of every energy of every planetary thought experience, because when we arrive into the moment of awareness, we can begin the ascension process again. That's why it's important to really consider what really happens when you become aware of what you were not even aware of. That moment where that transcendent smile comes in with the forgive me, I know not what I do, right? Where you can gaze at the self without any sense of ego or disappointment or anger or any of the emotional bodies or any of the mental bodies. When you can honestly be present with the smile of going, oh my God, there it is. How extraordinary. And realizing that, holding the frequency of conscious awareness, you immediately are going to run up against the perception of reality, because that aspect of the self is going to try and seize control because of what? You already know the answer to this, right? Fear. Let's take a breath on that. Let's bring our hands back to that third chakra again. I'm really feeling you guys. If you want, you could actually put one hand at your fifth chakra as well, the throat chakra, if you're not driving. Otherwise, just kind of think into those areas. And as you're feeling into that third chakra and that fifth chakra area right now, as you're right there feeling into that, relax and feel joy. Feel joy in the center of your body. Just whatever that joy feels like. And as you have your hand at your throat or your awareness at your throat, feel your truth. You are free. You are free to remember yourself into this form again, and you are free to trust yourself. Free to trust yourself. Relaxing your hands, just being in the essence of knowing that given this paintbrush, given this moment, given this freedom, given this recognition that your perception is reality, why not give yourself the gift of letting go of that perceptive filter and trusting what you have always known outside of the model of fear. We came into this planetary thought body that is fed by fear. Thereby, it is easily manipulated through controlling the way fear moves through and with all of the energy fields. So what happens when you are fearless? What happens when you are free from that fear? Well, in that moment, and it's not that hard to do, the collision is fear or trust. There's the collision, because you cannot simultaneously fear and be in trust. And here's something to remember, that when the energy of fear is used, when the energy of fear is brought in to the psyche of the human, especially in their energy of the experience, right? So when that is brought into the energy of the experience, when fear exists, you will give away your power, because the fear becomes the dominant reality. It is a collision with your consciousness, that your consciousness sits back and says, okay, we're doing this. We're doing fear. I'll be here waiting. When you're ready, I'm here. When you're ready to command it again, I'm right here, right? That's the law of instantaneous manifestation, that you are free to remember yourself into form again right now. And the only thing that's stopping you is the mind, because the mind sits in that 6 o'clock position and says, time out. Fear is I got to protect fear. I'm afraid, so I got to do everything I can to make sure that that's taken care of. So, okay, if I have to give my power over here to this other energy, then I'm going to, right? Because here's something that you want to really pay attention to. When fear is the controlling energy, you will give away your power. Power cannot be sustained. And what's really valuable to notice is that from that power relinquishment due to the fear, it is easily, very easily obtained to fall into terror. So from fear, we often go to terror. So imagine that in the energy of fear and the collision of fear, a fear-based reality, we give away our power. And once we give away our power, rather than thinking that we've made this trade to be safe, because that's what it's all about, right? I'm gonna give away my power in exchange for you making me safe. It's basically like paying the tax to the king, right? Okay, you pay the tax to the king, he's going to give you an army. So you pay the tax to the king because you believe that you're safe, right? That's exactly what it is. But here's what happens. Once you have sold your power to the slavery of fear, because that's what you've done. You've sold your power to the slavery of fear and said, okay, I can't even look at you, so you take this away from me. I'm going to give you all that. Then you are susceptible to terror. Because fear is one thing, but to be terrified is another. Because when you're terrified is when you'll cut deals with your soul. It's when you will just collapse so far that you will forget who you are. The collision with reality is complete. And like a meteor, boom, you've made your crater, and there you are. And yet, I want you to really feel that, because it's not a failure, it's a recognition, right? But when I share that with you, I feel that third chakra again. I feel the second chakra too, because the second chakra, that lower stomach area, is all about creation, is it not? And so what would you do? Imagine right now, how would you live your life, knowing that you are conscious of your consciousness, knowing that you are living in that transcendent experience of the smile, the absolute smile that cannot be taken away, because it's not based upon the experience of the emotional body. It's not based upon any sense of a perception of a reality where this is actually what you are, this body of form. Breathe in and notice what you're noticing. Just really take a moment, because I want to go back to something I mentioned just a little moment ago, and that is that right now you are free to remember again, free to remember yourself into this specific body of form in this specific field of potentiality. That's one of the gifts of this experience, is that we are in what many call a free will zone, right? We have the energy of free will. We have that capacity. We are each here as an aspect of conscious awareness. Everyone is awake to their level of consciousness, and your level of consciousness is your veil. If you want to lift your veil, lift your consciousness. And that's what this collision is doing. In this, I want to back up for a minute. So let's just take a breath. I'm going to take a sip of my great yummy beverage here. How you doing? You doing okay? All right. So remember, you can always rewind. One of the things that I often encourage when I get many different insights, letters and things, sharings from those of you that are connecting, is, Kira, sometimes I don't understand what you're saying, but I find that as long as I just stay there, either later on or the next day, I suddenly start having more aha moments. Some people say, Kira, I love listening to you, but I find that I get really tired when I'm listening. I'm finding that I have this energy that watches over me. And this is important to understand as well. Whenever you are in, and again, this is your encyclopedia galactica of consciousness. Every single episode is for you to have a resource. Every time, 100% of the time, that you are in the presence of a vast amount of light, and I mean light, pure light, many things will happen in your physical body of form because you are adapting to that frequency. And thereby, anything that is not able to be at that frequency or be sustained at that frequency has to be cleansed, purged, or oftentimes it rebels, and it can be a reason why you go backwards again, right? Why you recycle. So here are the symptomologies that can happen when you're in a lot of light. Number one, you can get tired. You can get really tired. And here's what I always suggest. Don't turn off the show. Keep it playing. But if you need to go to sleep or you need to be laying down while you're listening, that's fine. Because we are connecting the language codes that come forward through this vessel as the conscious keys that are offered to you are all offered so that you will receive them exactly in the way that is comfortable for you to receive. And sometimes that means you're going to rest through them. You're going to receive them through other faculties. At the end of the day, it's all going to offer the same blessing. Your heart knows truth. You will receive the truth that is yours to receive, that which will assist you to be a positive visionary, one that is able to sustain and hold the conscious frequency of a positive future in this potentiality right now. So that's one of the first things that'll happen, is that you might feel tired. Another thing that happens when your consciousness collides with the perceptive filters of reality of this potentiality is a literal head cleansing. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, forgive me, snot running out of your nose like you just can't stop it. Like somebody has just turned on the faucets, and usually it's very clear, and it's not, you don't feel ill. There's just a massive amount of snot coming out of your nose. You may also find that you're going through issues of tired, not tired, tired, not tired. And the one thing that I encourage you to do, especially as you're gazing and working with expanding consciousness, be drinking a lot of water, and hopefully with some nice organic lemon in it every once in a while. But really give yourself the gift of that water, of that flow, because you are at a moment where consciousness is colliding with all of the perceptual filters of this reality, because we have, I like to call AI the third element, right? We have this new element that has come in. And if you go back to the 2023 Mastery Planner, you will read where that was part of my predictions that were put out in late 2022. And I believe the whole thing came in exactly when those predictions said it would, that we would be preparing for this, and that in this moment, this is part of the collision. Because the collision is, at the end of the day, about fear or trust. Fear or trust. And this was the entire experience of the Ascension escalator from 2015 through 2021 till we jumped off in 2022. And that was our movement through the 7 polarities of free will. And if you don't know what that is, go to 𝐟𝐸𝐴nd𝐾𝐭, go into the home study, the homeschooling area and grab that course, because the 7 polarities of free will are all about fear or trust and how every one of those energies expands. You, as one that is taking breath into a body of form, are here, as the perennial philosophies share, you are here to remember yourself while you are in this body of form. That is the essence of the yoga of self-ascension. What is your purpose for life? Why are you here? What is the collision before you? To remember yourself into this body of form while you are still carrying it. To remember that there is an eternal underlying presence beneath all of this. And to know that you are that. And that is what is the gift of conscious awareness. To be in the essence of conscious awareness ignites the ascended presence in a body of form into the cycle of awareness, experience, and choice. To be the commander. To be in the eternal smile of transcendent presence. To be a 9th dimensional witness, aware of the 7th dimensional non-judgmental witnessing of that 5th dimensional compassionate field of love that can hold and sustain the 3rd dimensional moment, the body of form. You are capable of being the witness, witnessing the witnesser, and of holding the transcendent space of being aware of that which you were not even aware of before, in the smile and the trust that knows that the fear, the doubt, the hesitancy are no longer part of the formula of reality. Thereby, consciousness itself ignites this body of form. The Einstein-Rosen bridge opens, the torus field begins generating, and your life shifts into an entirely new sense of being and experiencing and remembering. Because right now, you are free. You are free to remember yourself into this form again, and thereby call forward into this formed awareness, the law of instantaneous manifestation through the conscious awareness of all that you are. So I want you to really feel that. I want you to really breathe that in, because that is a phenomenal gift. And we are at a moment of collective awakening through the fields of potentiality, the showering of 3 meteor showers that came in during this moment of revelation of this experience, all here to say to you, you've got this. You came here for this very moment, and you're listening to this because your consciousness is inviting you, it's calling you to stand up and remember you. I love you with all my heart. Make sure you get to YouTube, official 𝐟𝐸𝐴nd𝐾𝐿, and subscribe and catch up. Monthly revelations, weekly expanding consciousness, lots of lives from Tosa Blue Mountain here in Ecuador. And make sure you get to 𝐟𝐸𝐴nd𝐾𝐿.com. Find out about Monday Mastery. If you can be here in September for the equinox, do that. And for sure, download the app, Spiritual Mastery with 𝐟𝐸𝐴nd𝐾𝐿, and know how much I love you. I honor you for walking the journey of conscious awareness. Thank you for being you, for knowing that all you need to do is walk into a room, and the gift of your eternal presence and the smile of your knowing is the gift that all are ready to receive and can absolutely move forward with. I love you. Many blessings. Namaste. Thank you for joining me on Expanding Consciousness. Learn more about the yoga of self-ascension at 𝐟𝐸𝐴nd𝐾𝐿.com, and make sure you're subscribed to YouTube, official 𝐟𝐸𝐴nd𝐾𝐿. Remember, you are the gift. I love you and look forward to being with you again. Namaste.